Well, hello and welcome back to Snacks and Chats. Carrying on with our MMA series. I'm not sure if you know that's what we've been doing, but that's what we've been doing. So
I watched Huge's one.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool.
Yeah. He was the first one, so I'll watch Huge's one, and then
Don't worry about Kai's, eh? Don't worry about that.
None of them have anything interesting to say, so I didn't need to watch anyone else's.
Yeah.
I watched Huge's. There'll be a bit of knowledge, bit of insight there.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just making noise.
But you're coming with the knowledge, right? Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. If I'm being honest.
So welcome to Dan the Hangman Hooker. I feel like we've got a lot to talk about in terms of upcoming fights and previous fights as well, specifically headlining the Auckland UFC show. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
But first, I want to know a little bit more about you, the person. So what we always ask people when they come on here is, when people ask you where you're from, what do you tell them?
Mount Roskill.
Mount Roskill.
I'm from Auckland. Yeah, I'm Auckland, born and bred. Grew up in Mount Roskill.
Do you reckon Mount Roskill kind of shaped you into the person you are today, or is that more like
people always ask me that. They're just like, oh, did you get in like heaps of fights growing up as a kid? And like, my answer is always the same. No more than anyone else I was growing up with. It's not like I was fighting and everyone else was like not fighting.
Right.
Like it's just what you do as like I guess a teenager in Auckland, and the guys I kind of come up with, like they were all, we all had like a little bit of a aggressive streak or something that they wanted to get out.
What do you think that was?
I think it's just boys. It's just their nature. I think it's just like they go through that stage, and it's just I kind of never left that stage. I kind of kept that aggressive nature and made a living out of it.
I think my other question is, when people ask you what you do, what do you tell them? And I imagine that might have changed over the years. Obviously you can tell them with your chest you're a fighter and you're making money now, but was that harder to tell people sort of as you were coming up that that's what you do?
Yeah, of course. Like that's like the main justification for things, is that you're able to make a living or how much money you make. Like that's your justification to the general public about why you do something. And now people leave you alone. Like as soon as you're in the UFC and you're getting UFC money, people leave you alone. They're like, oh yeah, okay, he's like actually making a living, blah, blah, blah. But when you're coming up, especially when, I knew from a very young age that this is what I wanted to do. When I first walked in the gym after my first session, I was finished my first session and I was just like, oh, well, guess this is my life now. Like this is what I want to do. And I've stuck with it ever since. And I committed to it at a very young age that this is what I was going to do regardless. But then, there wasn't even a New Zealander in the UFC or making a living from MMA in this country when I was 18 years old and decided that that's what I was going to do. So to justify that to your parents and to everyone else around you, the adults around you, I want to be a MMA fighter. And then first question, like, oh yeah, like how many people were making? Oh, no one, but I reckon I might be able to be the first one. Like that's a terrible business plan. So,
but it worked.
But it worked.
So how old or how young were you when you went to that gym for the first time, and what drew you there?
I actually went to an MMA fight of a friend of mine, Steve Warby. He's like New Zealand heavyweight champ, and he's still fighting at City Kickboxing to this day. And he was having his first amateur MMA fight, so I just had no idea what it was. I think I'd seen it on the TV when I was like 15 or something, one of the Ultimate Fighters. And it was like two guys lying on top of each other, and I was just stand up. I was like, this is boring. And then I changed the channel, like I was not interested in it. But then I followed him to his fight and was watching, and he knocked this guy's head off in like 10 seconds. And I was just like, I felt the crowd after that. Like he just knocked his opponent out real early on, and I felt the crowd just erupt, and I felt the energy, and I was like, man, like I want this feeling. I want this feeling for myself. So then, I nagged him, and then he was like, come to the gym with me, and I followed him to the gym the next week. And so when I first walked in the gym, I was just like, how do I knock someone out in a fight? Like, not even... a lot of people dabble with the sport for a long period of time. They'll train, and then they've been training so long that they're like, oh, well, I may as well test out this knowledge or test out these skills that I work every day. But yeah, I just walked in and I was like, how do I excite crowds? Like, how do I... So I always had that in my head. So I think it fast-tracked me a little bit, because I always intended to compete. Like, that was my intention day one. And it's funny that people walk into the gym now and I think they're idiots when they're like, when they just tell me, nah, I haven't trained anywhere, but I want to knock someone out and I want to fight. Like, that's... Yeah.
I guess you know now what you know in terms of how difficult...
I would call myself an idiot if I walked into a gym.
Yeah. Because you know what it takes now, right?
Yeah. Had I been 18 and seen the path and see what it took, I might have second guessed it. But I was all in from a very young age.
And what gym was that you? Because it wasn't CKB, right?
No. I've moved around quite a lot. So I first started with a coach named John Olsen, and it was I can't even remember the name of the gym. He was teaching out of a place. Paulo Soriso was there. And it was a boxing gym just off Dominion Road, but they had jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and MMA. So I went in and had a MMA session first off. So, yeah, people always ask me, like, what's your background? And like, my first session was MMA. So, and my first thing I learned was, a double leg takedown. Like, this is a double leg takedown. And I was like trying to figure out the technique of it, and someone just like, it's just a rugby tackle, just run and tackle the guy down. I started doing that, and the coach was like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. And then he goes, all right, put the gloves on and we'll spar. And I was just like, oh yeah, sweet, like it's my first day. And he's like, yeah, you'll be all good, just put the gloves on. And I sparred with my coach, like John Olsen. I think he dropped me like 4 or 5 times with a body shot. He just kept hitting me in the liver.
Wow.
And your body just shuts down. I was like, oh, down. And he's going, get up. I kept getting up. Drop me again. Get up. Drop me again. Get up. And he told me years later, he's like, when you got up the 5th time, he's like, I might train this kid.
Shit. So the 4th time not enough, but the 5th time
not enough. He's like, this kid is either very tough or very dumb. And I feel like I'm a bit of both. And I feel like that's like the necessary mix to find some success in this.
You got to be smart too, though, right? Like, you got to know what you're doing. You got to be able.
Of course. I always tell my fighters, like, do as I say, not as I do, because they're always like, oh, I'll fight this, or I'll fight him, or I'll fight short notice, and I'm just like, no. So I'm a much smarter coach than I am a fighter.
I mean, but that's the coach's job, right? To protect the fighter.
Yeah. 100%. That's the difference with that's the only difference between a good coach and a bad coach, in my opinion. Like, they're a good coach will be able to test your character without doing any permanent damage, whereas a bad coach will test your character, test your will, but then also there'll be a bit of a toll to that, a bit of a toll on your body, on your joints, on your brain. Like, there's a toll to be paid. Like, and I feel like that's the difference between a good coach and a bad coach.
You made your UFC debut in 2014 in Auckland. Can you remember that feeling of walking out for your first time in that Auckland stadium compared to this recent fight against Paul Felder as the headline act? Can you remember both those feelings and I guess the difference between then and now?
Yeah, there were a lot of differences. If I'm being honest, like when I first got signed, I think it was 5 weeks out from the event when I got in contact with the UFC. Like, I didn't get a contract till 4 weeks out from the event for my debut. So it was it was just a whirlwind. Like, I had no time to process it. I had no time to be like, all right, like mentally prepare for something. There was no time for that. I just focused and trained as hard as I could in that short amount of time, and just went out there and was just all in. Like I just slid my chips across the table and I was like, this is it. Like I'm either all in or all out. I'm not going to go out there and get embarrassed in front of 10,000 people that live in my city. Like, and I went out there and I was telling, because the opponent was like a heel hook specialist, which is like, it can do some pretty serious damage to your knee if you don't tap to it. So I was telling myself before the fight, like I drilled it as much as I could, trained as hard as I could in that short amount of time. But I was telling myself, like, if you get caught in the heel hook, like tap, like just tap. You know, come on, it's not like worth it. You can have another go. Like you got a 4-fight contract. Like you don't need to sit out for 6 months. I was telling myself, please, come on, Dan, all you need to do is tap. And then when we were dry early on, like he jumped for the heel hook, he comes back, and that was on. Like it was on. He had my heel hooked, and he started cranking it, and I could hear my knee popping. Like it started cracking. It was like cracked like 4 or 5 times, like quite loud. Like the ref was even like, oh man, like he's stretching. And I remember thinking in my head, and I go, fuck that. I was like, I didn't listen to that voice at all. I was just like, fuck that. Like he can break my leg. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to kick him with it. Like I'm just not tapping. And that has been something that's happened to me. Every time I've been in a situation like that, and I've always told myself that the day I'm in a fight and I get put in that, and that little voice in my head says, oh, just tap out. Like that's the day I'll just be like, oh, the fire's gone. Like that.
When you do tap, that's when you know.
That part of me is done. You know, like when I start questioning myself, or that fight in you, that fight in you is gone. I feel like that's when I'll be happy to walk away. But she's still there for sure. She's still there.
That's incredible hearing that, because you're so calm, and it's for so long. He's got that, like it went for ages, and I was just like, wow, you're so calm. Like you must know it's not in or something, like you're just like
it was like, oh, he's only going well defending. I was like, nah, it's already like it already popped like 4 or 5 times. I'm pretty flexible, so I was able to.
It was those long.
And then I wanted
limbs,
some payback.
That was great. And so, was there any moment in that Felder fight then? I mean, it was a tough 5 rounds, right? So, were you like, oh yeah, just give up now?
Nah, definitely not.
So that's a big difference then.
Yeah, definitely
maybe.
not.
Yeah.
Like, I would just knew what I was in for, like leading into that fight. The main difference between that first debut fight and then the Felder fight was I knew exactly what I was in for. That's my 14th fight in the UFC. So I knew what to expect. I knew the process leading into a bout fight week. Like I've done it 13 times already before. Like I knew exactly what was going to happen. So I had a good amount of time to mentally ready myself for that, ready myself for the walkout, ready myself for everything, for fight week, for weigh-ins. Like you need to take that all into account, because been doing it so long that you can't just, like, if you just block it out, you don't really get to enjoy it. So if I mentally ready myself for it, then I can experience it and enjoy it and have a bit of fun.
Was it fun? Was it fun?
It's fun. It's fun. It is fun. Like I love it. It's crazy. Like anything that gets that fire going and gets you like excitement. As soon as I hate it when the fight ends. Like that's when you go into like you get a little bit depressed after a fight, because you're like, as soon as the fight's finished, you're like, oh, like now it's back to normal. Everything's
life,
going. Like I love everything about it. I love the hard training. Like I love it. Like nothing pushes you and tests your character and tests your will like the training, but then you get a week off to hang out, just cut weight, do a little bit of training and do all the media and things like that, and then having thousands of people with the weigh-ins, you know, that was cool. All your friends and family, like, sending you support, and then to go out there, the walkout, everything. So I'm just glad now that I got to experience it, you know, like I didn't have to block it out. I was able to both enjoy it, stay calm, and then also get the job done.
It must have felt amazing. Like I remember when you were signing the stuff for the fans in Aotea Square. You know, I'd never seen that before for local fighters.
I was at the first one. You know, like because there's been 3 events. I fought on all 3 of the events. The first one, it was like down in the waterfront. I don't even know if the building's still there, but it was just like not that big of a room. There was like a handful of people. I was getting asked questions by like one guy and answered. There was like 2 people from the media there. There was like 10 people in the room. A couple of them, I think, just walked in by accident. Like there was like no one there, and I was so nervous. Like I was like, oh man, I'm in the UFC. Like I was like freaking out and like panicking. And then Aotea Square, like, loved it. Got to soak it in. And that's like 1,000 people there. Go out there, like, hit some pads, throw some gear out, sign some stuff, like, have fun. You can just take the energy.
Yeah.
Same as the walkout weigh-in. Open workouts, like, you take the energy from the crowd. Even in, like, interviews. Because if you're, like, putting on a character or you're like, okay, I need to entertain them. Like that really burns like a lot of energy if you're trying to put on a show for people. It's, even in interviews, like you sit down with someone and you're trying to impress them and you're trying to put on a show. Like it just burns energy, and that's all energy which you need to save for the fight. Right. So I look at it a different way now. When I do interviews, like, They'll give you energy if they ask insightful questions and they're genuinely interested. Like you'll be able to feel that, and you can like respond with your energy. Same from the crowd. You get it from the crowd rather than having them drain you. Same as a walkout. Like you feel it when you walk out, and you can use that in the fight. And when everyone's cheering throughout the fight, like you can use that in the fight rather than looking tough and getting tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, because you're too much in your head doing that, right?
100%.
I love that the crowd was shouting, what it was, fuck him up?
Yeah.
Classic.
I heard it, I was like, fuck, I'm trying. I was like, he's tough, these gingers are tough, man. Like
actually, I feel silly now having asked you like if you felt like giving up with the Felder thing, because I watched your Barbosa fight, which was like, if there was any fight to fucking give in, that would have been it, and you didn't once. Like, holy shit, that was hard to watch though. Do you?
Yeah, everyone says that, and I'm like, motherfucker, I was in there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was like,
I mean, my mates like sit down. It was really hard to watch, man. And I was like, what? Sitting on your couch, drinking beers, eating chips. That was hard to watch. I was in there. I was like getting kicked apart.
Sorry.
Nah, I wasn't. I'm joking. It wasn't bad at all. I actually enjoyed it, if I'm being honest.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know. That's like a weird enjoyment.
I was wondering if you ever felt like running that one back. Like, do you know?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I wanted him to beat Felder, because Felder and Barbosa fought.
I felt like Felder. Do you think Felder won that? Do you think Barbosa won that? I guess
like you can get arguments for both. You can get arguments for both. Like a lot of the scoring is, a lot of it's left up to like perspective from the individual judges. So it could have gone any way. Had Barbosa been the winner of that fight, I would have called for that fight to main event Auckland. Like that was it. But am I gonna push a higher ranked fighter to the side to go back and get some revenge? Like that's a bit pointless. And now he's down at featherweight, but 100% would I run that back? Like I'd run it back 1,000 times. Like that's.
Yeah. Do you know? I mean, you obviously feel like you could get the win the next time. You know what to do now.
Wink, wink, go. Yeah, like, of course I think I can beat him. Like, I'm not going to rematch him to get my ass whooped again.
Yeah, stupid question.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. How about that?
Yeah, I'll take that. Did any of that with the Felder, the split decision, did any of that sort of controversy bother you at all afterwards?
Yeah, I know, like, people were getting like stuck up on it, and it's just like the way the internet goes. But for that moment, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I wouldn't switch that with a knockout. If I could, if I could press a button right now, go back in time, and instead of getting that split decision, have a knockout in like the first 10 seconds of the fight, I don't think I would. Like, I definitely wouldn't do it. Like, to go the full 5 rounds and experience that preparation. The lessons I learned from that will help me going forward into the future. But the whole thing was cool. Like, going the whole 5 rounds, like, the crowd was just on the edge of their seat the whole time. They were excited the whole time. To go out there and put on a fight of the night, and then to come down to that moment where it's standing there and they go, like, one judge to you, like, one judge to him, and then they read out the score and they're like, winner by a split decision, and it's just the relief in it. And the moment I felt like I just sat down and soaked it all in, and I was just so relieved, because so much energy went into preparing for that. Like, I went all in on that. So much energy went into preparing for that fight and getting ready that I wouldn't. Yeah, that moment was cool. Like, that moment where they're calling all the numbers out, like, get the split decision. Then I could feel that relief, and I could finally rest for the first time in 3 months.
Yeah, shit. You talked about after such big fights, or after all fights, there is that little bit of like the sadness that it's over. Did you feel that maybe even more acutely this time because it was so much larger than the rest?
I think just the type of fight it was. I enjoyed the rest. Like, that's why when people get like real. Let's go back to the like Barbosa fight. Like, people get real like, oh, that was like a massive loss. Like, that must have hurt to pick yourself back up from that. But like, I drive myself insane with this sport. Like, I think about it every minute of every day, and training and doing this and doing that. Like, I obsess over it. Like, you have to be this successful at something, like, you actually have to obsess over it. And so I've been obsessing over this sport for like 10 years leading into that fight. And after that fight was like the first time that I'd actually had a legitimate rest. Like, that's the longest layoff since I walked in the gym that I'd ever had. And I feel like it was like a complete reset. And it's the like reason for my future success. Like, none of my losses I would take back. I wouldn't take back any of them, because the lessons that I learned from them, I'm gonna use in the future. Because there's gonna be more losses. Like, I can guarantee I'm gonna run this till the wheels fall off. Trust me. Like, there's gonna be plenty more hard times. But after that fight, people talking about it as a loss. Like, I bought my first house after that fight. After that fight, I had a good amount of time off, like, had a rest for my body, bought my first house. Like, that's a win to me. Like, all I had to do was go in there and experience that, and then I get to move forward with my life outside of the cage. Like, it's not a loss to me. Like, it's just it's a win in my book.
I remember even before the fight, you were very philosophical about people were asking you if you thought you could win, and you're like, it's 50-50. Maybe I win, maybe I lose. I don't know. Like, you never know.
Yeah. That's like the way I approach every fight, just because I've done, you try to be like another fighter, and you'll be like, I'm going to be this undefeated, indestructible monster. Like, it's just not the mindset that works well for me. The best mindset that works for me is to go out there and feel very human and respect my opponent's abilities, know that he can knock me out, know that he can beat me, know that he's trained hard, and that gets that adrenaline flowing in me, and it brings out the best in me.
Hearing you talk about, the wins and losses and really, taking the time to come back from that, people always compare sport or say sport as a metaphor for life. Do you feel that way? I guess deal with losses in life.
You can. The sport has helped me to develop my character for sure, 100%. Like, there's not a lot in this day and age that can test you, like going out there and training for a fight like that and going out there and competing. Nothing else I have found has tested my character to the same extent as that, and that's what draws me to it so much. Is that just test, like, have I still got it? Like, is it still there? Am I still, is that fire, is that drive still there? And so I like to go out there and get in hard fights and be pushed and be challenged in the gym, just so I know that it's still there. And yeah, it's tough to find that outside of sport.
Is it lonely when you're fighting in the octagon? Does it feel lonely? You've got your team, you've got your coaches. They can only do so much by the time you get in there. It's just you and the other guy, right?
It's just one guy.
Just one guy.
We're just having a little bit of alone time. Yeah, like it's only one guy. At the end of the day, he weighs the same as me. He's roughly the same size. Like, I've done like a lot worse, if I would fight heavier guys, fight bigger guys, guys with more experience in the past. And that to me is equally as exciting, but it's pretty safe. It's pretty tame in my opinion, compared with some of the stories we get from, the infancy of the sport. Before it was regulated and before it was like controlled the same as it is now. Like, I feel like it was a much more dangerous game, but I feel like now it's a pretty controlled. I don't want to say safe. I'll say controlled environment.
We've got there's rumors swirling around a June 27 fight. Dana, I saw him say on ESPN, it's pretty close to being made. What can you tell us about the Poirier fight?
When does the podcast come
out? When can you confirm it?
When can I confirm it?
I'm curious. I was curious as to how that's all going to work. Are they going to give you? If the fight is agreed.
Allegedly. All you have to say.
Yeah,
is
allegedly. Israel's favorite word. If this alleged fight were to happen, how would they get you there?
America announced a week ago, or the start of this week, that there's like a pro athlete exemption for visas, so they'll be able to get me a visa. Like, that was announced. Dana White has a hand in all of that. So the UFC is very confident that they can get me a visa. And in terms of like quarantine, I just go over at the normal time. Like people from Australia and New Zealand traveling to the US don't need to be quarantined. So we don't even, once we arrive in the US, we don't even need to be quarantined. It's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming
back. That was gonna suck.
You gotta stay
as
away.
long as I don't have to go in those government hotels. Like, and maybe I'm like, fingers crossed that even I can just go back and go to my own empty home. Like that would be great.
Is your wife and kid gonna go somewhere else?
Well, she's going to Australia to see some family. Like, as soon as the Trans-Tasman bubble opens, like, she'll shoot over there. So in like five weeks time or 4 weeks time, like, hopefully that's a thing, so she can shoot over there. I can sit in my house. That's like dream state, but what it looks like is we're gonna have to sit in a government hotel for a week and wash my undies in the sink.
I feel like you've probably done that before anyway, right?
I've been poor before.
Why do you want this fight? What is it about Poirier that
It's
excites
moving
you?
forward. It's towards the title. Like he's another ranked guy. He's a higher ranked fighter that's ahead of me. Like I want his head. I want to rip his head off. Like any of them that get in the way. That's why I have no like qualms about showing people. It's just my intensity for what I want. Like it's not like when I say I'm gonna smash your face in. Like that's not even like I'm putting on a show or like just making a bunch of lines.
Yeah.
And like I would yell in his face that I intend to rip your head off. Like if I could physically rip your head off, I would rip your head off. Like that's. And I'm just, I'm like not being disrespectful. Like I'm just showing my intentions coming into the fight. Like I just, like getting in poor Felder's face. Like I'm just showing my intensity. I'm showing the fans who are watching, the people that are gonna tune in and watch this fight, like what this means to me. Like I'm prepared to rip this boy's head off. That's the intensity that I'm bringing into the fight, and that's something that comes very naturally to me. Like I don't have to put on any kind of show for that.
What do you think of, or how much can you talk about the matchup between you two, or how you like the matchup? I saw, his Holloway fight, his Gaethje fight. It was pretty impressive from him. Yeah.
He's all right.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's all right.
Just
Like,
all right.
he's all right. He's all right. Like, I think, yeah, like the match is good for me. Like, it's going to be like a 5-week camp for that match. Like, I like the matchup. Like, I would fight Dustin Poirier any day of the week. Like, I think stylistically, it's a pretty tough fight for him coming into it.
Why?
Because he eats shots. Like, He's like happy to eat a shot, to give a shot.
I feel like that's you as well, right?
Yeah, but I can. Yeah. Let's go then. Like, give me that kind of fight. You wanna eat my shots?
Yeah.
You wanna eat my shots? You wanna eat my knee to the face? Like, that's fine. You'll eat one of those, then I'll pack my bags and sit in my hotel room. Like that's done. That's how I go into the fight. Like, he's gonna try and punch me. I'm gonna try and knee his head off. I'm gonna knee his head off. I'm gonna pack my shit. I'm going to sit in a hotel for 2 weeks and I'm going to enjoy myself back in New Zealand, the greatest country in the world.
That sounds like a great plan.
It's a plan. It's a plan.
And what else? You've got, how's your combat academy going? How's that going?
Yeah,
for you?
good.
Yeah.
It's mean that it's opened up. Like, it can all get back to usual now. Like, just good to see all the people again. Like, we got a cool little community down there, like, of people, and it was real exciting to get back in there and teach. Like, I love to teach as much as I love to learn, and it's all one and the same. Like, setting them all up for fights, and like that's exciting. Training them all for fights, like challenging anyone. That's the thing. Like, you don't have to walk in the gym and be like, oh, I'm going to intend to be world champion. Like, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you, like, regardless of your goal. Like, if your intention is, like, never to fight, like, I'm going to push you. I'm going to make you uncomfortable. That's it. Whatever your threshold of comfort is, I'm going to challenge that and I'm going to push that. And that's, if you're 150 kilos, walk in the gym and I'm going to push you and I'm going to test you. Like, I don't intend to break you. There's like a fine line between breaking and comfort zone. And I like to push people to that zone.
I imagine you learn things as you're teaching. You're learning along the way too, right? There might be things you realize as a coach that you hadn't realized as a fighter, and that helps you. This is such a mangled way of saying it, but
that's bang on. So, like, I'll do something with my coaches, Eugene or Twist. Like, they'll give me something, like, we're gonna do this technique, and we do this set technique. Let's say I'm gonna step right and throw a right hand, like. Then I will take that before I've mastered it myself, or I'm learning it and I'm not quite sure about it. I'll take it, I'll teach it. And then you've got, say, a class of 30 people That's 30 different body types. That's 30 different ranges. That's seeing 30 different people do it. And you can look at him and going, well, this is not working because he's doing this wrong. And he's doing this wrong. And he's doing this wrong. And they're all doing little things wrong differently. And so then I can go back, and when I'm doing it myself, I remember the corrections that I'm giving to other people. So you're 100% teaching is part of learning. 100%.
And you mentioned before the Poirier fight is just another step to the ultimate goal, which is the championship.
Yeah, like I want to win the title. I want to be champion. That's the prize I've been chasing the whole time.
Not just in it, just for the laughs. It's the championship.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you're not in the UFC to win the title, like you will get found out real quick. Like you have to be in the UFC with the ability to win the title, and that's just the way. It's funny the way that the sport is marketed to me. Like I think it's funny. Like they try to build people into like superheroes. They try to build people into like larger than life. Like they show you a little highlight reel. That's why they love like Undefeated so much. Like Khabib, like undefeated, and they show like a highlight reel, and he looks like this unstoppable monster, and people are just, he's larger than life, and that's not what the sport is to me. Anyone in the top 50 could be Khabib on a given day.
Yeah,
like they're all a threat. If he didn't take someone in the top 50, top 100 in the world seriously, he would lose to them. Like everyone skills need to be respected and taken seriously. I see it more as, both people can be hurt, both people can be knocked out, and we're testing their wills against each other. Like that's the way that I look at the sport and approach the sport, rather than the way it's kind of marketed at the moment, which I don't. It's not why I love the sport, to see undefeated fighters, larger than life characters. I love it for the test of human character.
I do, yeah. I feel like MMA or the UFC is not as bad as boxing, for example, where that seems like the undefeated thing seems to be the be all and end all. It is nice seeing champions. It's not nice, but you see people lose a lot in the UFC.
Well, we can even look at like Justin Gaethje. Like he got stopped with punches like back to back 3 fights ago or 4 fights ago, and now we go out there and see him beat
Ferguson.
Tony half to death in over 5 rounds, like completely outclass him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And 3 fights ago, he got stopped twice in a row with punches. Like he's not an indestructible character, but now if you watch the sport long enough, you wake up to that idea, and you're just like, oh, okay, I'll go back and actually watch like Khabib's fights. Oh, that was a close one. Or you go back and like, oh, that was a split decision, but I think the other guy could have had that fight. Like you go back and you actually watch a fight and not a highlight reel, and you see it for what it is. Like you see the reality of it.
Is there anything else you want to add or talk about? Or?
I talk plenty.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, thank you so much.
Wrap it.
Thanks. Yeah, wrap it up.
So wrap it